It is the Fall Turf Festival at Gulfstream Park West. It is Friday. We have a fast main track, firm turf course. Ron Nicoletti, along with track announcer Pete Aiello. And Pete, we got that $250,000 jackpot guarantee. What I wanted to say is that it's going to be over that today.
Absolutely. We only need about 10,000 or so to get it over that marker. So I think we're looking at close to 300,000 here this afternoon. With the 10-race format, it begins in race number 5. And again, the level of difficulty on this sequence is pretty tricky. It's either going to be a scenario where there's 1 or 2 tickets, or we'll have another big carryover. Actually, if you have 1 ticket, then it goes. But it's tricky. I think you can get the jackpot here today.
You know what else? We have a huge day here tomorrow. We got the Juvenile Showcase. Should be a fun day there. You see the slate, the Buffalo Man, the House Party, Hot, Wait a While, Smooth Air, and the Pulpit. Those are all 2-year-old races. A lot of the horses you've seen run here this summer. They're going to be banging heads, and should be a wild day of racing. And a lot of those stakes are in the Rainbow Six sequence.
And then next Saturday, we have the $1 million Claiming Crown to open it up east of town here at Gulfstream Park. The Champions meeting gets underway a week from tomorrow here in South Florida. You'll know it's the Champions meet for no other reason than I'll be gone. If you don't see me, you know it's the Champions meet.
We're going to miss you, Pete. Let's go to the first race today. 5.5 furlongs, claimers 3 and up, $6,250 in here. And we have, I have the number 7 on top. Pete, you went with the 4. Great Victorian, a 14-time winner over the surface. That's amazing right there in itself. Is returning to action with the perfect running style, I believe, to stalk the pace in a race stocked with horses that, they sort of need the lead to run their best. So if they're not on the lead, they're not going to win it. And if they're all on the lead, looks like it's going to set up for somebody like Great Victorian, the number 7. But you did go with the 4-5 small.
I'm going to be in front. I don't know if I can hold on with all that other speed in here, but 5 small will be on the engine here. Carlos Olivero riding for George Navarro. The storyline for me, the final couple days of the meet, is the owner's title. These guys take it very, very serious and very, very personal. We have White Rabbit Racing, who notched another winner yesterday. I do believe they're tied now with Frank Calabrese, who we'll talk about later on the program, is also getting aggressive and trying to preserve that owner title. 5 small gets a rider switch here today, and he will be in front. It's just a matter of Great Victorian can run him down.
Sure makes an interesting plot line over the next couple of days as we close out the Gulfstream Park West, the Fall Turf Festival. I got a long shot in this first race I'm going to mention. That's the 2 Skibo in July. I know you're not going to like this horse. This one is stepping up there. Right there, Pete is crossing him off the competition after responding to the addition of blinkers, and that was the key. With a 3-length score, it was against 6,253 lifetime claimers on the board very early in the wagering right now at 25-1. I know he's stepping up, but I like the fact that he just turned it around with the addition of blinkers.
You can say that again. He ran unbelievable. And again, when you're in front by 6 or 7 at the first call with Luca Panici riding, you're doing something, because Panici's not going to send anything. He'll let them land where they land, but he's not going to get after him to go any faster than they need to. I think the blinkers obviously made the difference for Skibo in July. This is a step up in class, as you touched on. I don't know that he's well advised to try what he tried last time again here, because he's going to knock heads with 5 small, and he's going to come out on the losing end of that battle, and in fact, he'll probably kill both of them. So it's an interesting decision by Panici, what he elects to do with Skibo in July. And if he does break out of there like that, does Panici take hold and try to sit second off the flank of the lead?
Yeah, that's the part I really couldn't figure out exactly what was going to happen. But I just love horses when they, get an equipment change and they really respond to it. They usually stay good for a race or 2. I don't mean they have to win it, but I'm thinking this horse could be somewhere on the board at a really square price because of that step up in competition. Anything else in here, Pete? Go ahead.
Number 5, Royal Distinction's taking a step up in class also, but he's rounding into form for Dallas Keene. Seems like he makes a little bit of sense here from off the speed. As Ronnie touched on, there is some speed in here if the race were to come back to some of the closers. Great Victorian and number 5, Royal Distinction, seem to be the best to set it up.
All right, let's go to the second race. This is our first turf race of the afternoon, 1 mile and 116. Turf course is listed as firm. Fillies and mares 3 and up. Non-winners of 3 in life, $8,000. Big scratch in here of my best bet of the day was number 2, Happy Voyage.
Mine too.
I really was waiting for the show to show us. We had a video and everything about that. Got scratched out in here, and I scratched into the number 4. And I'm thinking Pete did too, and that's Heaven Help Me. Stepping up, stretching out. He closed to defeat $10,000, 2 lifetime claimers. Going a mile last time out. Jane Sabelli. me. Leandro Conslaves going for 2 in a row. And I just thought this horse moved up that step with the scratch of the 2 Happy Voyage.
I agree completely. Boy, she was much the best horse the last time. Go back and watch that replay. She was shuffled, and pretty much Gonsalves did everything he could to get beat and still ended up coming on to get the victory that afternoon. Carolina Dreams, who this horse beat, is in later today. I like her chances, so I have to like the chances of Heaven Help Me. She won't need much help. All she has to do is run back to that last race and not get in so much trouble.
Yeah, I also have, you both have the 6 on the Bahama Drama. Looked like she was poised to win her last before flattening out. She finished 3rd behind that repeat winner. Lady Joyful, Happy Voyage, was 2nd in that race. And the horse coming out of that race thought it'd be it. I don't have my 3rd selection up there. Forgot to give it to him, but it is the number 9, Highland Sarah.
She scratched too.
She scratched too. That's what it is, with late scratch. Oh, so that's why I don't have a pick up there. I will give you one when I get a chance, and they scratch the number 9, Highland Sarah.
It better not be Lady Con, who I think is a terrible bet here and probably as the second choice off of the scratches of the 2 and 9. Lady Con defeated last time at 1-5. Now makes a barn switch here today. I would be playing against her.
Well, that's the beauty of my horse getting scratched after we came out on the air, so I can get the choice to pick one later on, and it won't be Lady Con now. Anything else in the second before we go to the 3rd race?
Nope, second half of the early daily doubles, so you have to decide how you want to tier your doubles. I think this is a situation where a couple deep to a couple deep might be the best way to go here.
Well, let's go to the 3rd race, and if you're not aware, this is where our first pick 4 of the afternoon kicks off with races 3, 4, 5, and 6, 6.5 furlongs. These are claimants, fillies and mares, 3-year-olds and up, non-winners of 3 races in life, or race since May 27th, or 3-year-olds. So you got a whole potpourri of different.
It's a good word for it, potpourri.
I went with the 4. It looked like the logical choice after all those conditions. Epic Story dropping into this $30,000 condition claimer, finishing 4th and 3rd respectively versus Optional Claiming Allowance Company. Trainer is Anthony Pecoraro, and he's got Jose Caraballo in the saddle. Looks like the logical choice if you read through the conditions.
I don't know. I mean, I picked her on top. I don't know if she looked that logical, but I can tell you that this is the beauty of South Florida horse racing, and this is where you can get a competitive advantage no matter what circuit you're playing if you follow the conditions and then follow the horses that are in those conditions. Because here's a horse that looks like last time she dropped in class, and she regressed off of her race before that. While figure-wise she did regress, from a class standpoint, it was a very, very tough race because Money Game was coming in from New Jersey for Todd Pletcher. My Sweet Dove is in later today against a Salty Field. Bohème de Lave's in today against a Salty Field, and Epic Story was 4th behind those. If you go 2 back, My Novena was a huge upsetter for Jose Pinchin, and Gumara was coming off a 4 or 5 month layoff for trainer Efren Loza Jr. So Epic Story looks like she dropped in class last time, when in fact she stepped up in class, and now here this afternoon, back down the class ladder. That was the reason I settled with her on top.
Where are we going to get information like that after Sunday? I don't know. He knows everything about that race. I did have the 4 Epic Story on top of my ticket without knowing all of that, but I still came up with the same pick.
I don't know if you're mocking me or giving me credit, but at this point...
It's credit. Well, you'll have to figure that one out. Number 1, Pearl of a Girl, going to try 6.5 furlongs after finishing 2nd at 6 and 7 furlongs, respectively, against the same caliber competition. Can't do it at 6, can't do it at 7, maybe boom, 6.5 will hit her in the eye.
There you go with your boom again. I love the boom. Pearl of a Girl is a horse that I'm going to try to beat in race number 3. I liked her the last time, and she didn't run very well. She lost to Dana Lake, who was forwardly placed where that wasn't her running style. Dana Lake was a closer that ended up near the lead, and they couldn't track her down after slow splits. Pearl of a Girl just didn't finish all that well to me. Maybe the cut back to 6.5 will help her in that regard. She just seems like a grinded-out kind of horse, and against this field, I don't know that that's going to work.
Well, you do have Sharp Words, who defeated Pearl of a Girl going 7 furlongs in the slop last time out. Now back in these condition claiming ranks after passing rivals to finish 5th. That was a $16,000 optional claimer.
Yeah, Sharp Words is going to be out the back door early and going to trolley Riley from the outhouse to the penthouse here this afternoon. The Sharp Words under Leandro Goncalves may get some pace, may not, but she's pretty honest either way. I think she has a chance to get a minor reward here.
Anything else before we flip the page?
5-horse Darnley Bay is kind of intriguing to me. Comes in from Penn National, Suffolk, in New York. Did face some decent company that those races, and then comes in here for Manny Wayar. I don't know where this horse fits class-wise. I think this is probably a good starting point for her, and I think she has enough tactical speed, and if she does bring her A game to the table, she's a horse who may be able to get a piece of this. She's 8-1 on the morning lines. I think she'll be a bit better priced than that, and I think in this race, if you're not going to single Epic Story and take a huge stand, you got to spread here.
Yeah, I mean, I would not single Epic Story. I'll tell you that right now.
I might.
You might. Oh, see that? He's just trying to be controversial.
No, the company lines are huge. This is a massive class drop, and it doesn't look like it, and that will always result in better value.
Oh, good. All right, let's go to the fourth race. 1 mile and 116, 3 and up, non-winners of 2 in life, $6,250. We got a video we want to show you from October 22nd, and it's the 7-horse, I believe, that day, the 5 points, who's the 2-horse today.
This is the aforementioned storyline with Calabrese, but watch the horse in post number 8, the 5 points. Going to blow the break pretty bad. Yep, stood there when they sprung it, about 3 lengths behind in the early stages. You can see he's kind of a big, long striding horse, and he's out the back door for most of that race. He rallies to run 4th. We couldn't really show you the stretch run because there was nothing to see.
Right.
You would have just seen him closing to be 4th. He was claimed that afternoon for $16,000 by the Petro and Calabrese outfit. They claimed him for $16,000. Now he's back in for $62,500. As you touched on a couple of weeks ago, that's usually a huge red flag, but we know the storyline here. They want to win races. They have to get horses that are aggressively placed to win those races, and they have a great 1-2 punch here with their recent acquisition, the 5 points, and then number 4, Pickett's Corner, who gets back on the turf after failing to fire big time on the main track.
Yeah, I got the 2 up there the same way. You know, the 5 points got beat last time out. Next out winner in the race came back and won was Keep It Pithy. And Pickett's Corner, the gelding, second on the turf against the $8,000 2 lifetime claim, is back on October 30th. Now goes back to the lawn today, coming up empty, but that was in the slop. Put a line through. You got 1-2. We saw in the last race with White Rabbit, they had 2 in the last race, and they look like these guys are seriously trying to win this owner's title.
Like I said, I think it's not only a business thing. I think this is kind of personal right here. So you're going to have to look at the owner lines. It's not something you may do on a regular basis, but at least for the next 3 days, look at the owner lines. If you see White Rabbit or you see Frank Calabrese, move the horses up, especially if they look like they have a shot already. They're going to run as good as they look on paper. That I can guarantee. Now, speaking of White Rabbit, the storyline within the storyline in this race is number 8, Copa del Rey. First time for White Rabbit. We picked him 3rd. Calabrese against White Rabbit. This could be the very race that decides the momentum either way. Race 4 on this Friday card.
Yeah, this one going back to the turf. We're talking about the 8, first start since it was claimed. When running 3rd against Similar by on the Monmouth main track, Jorge Navarro, 40% with new claims. You know, all of that stuff. Carlos Marquez Jr. in the saddle. So we'll see how this 4th race shapes up. And I sort of like the 5 points after that bad break. Did not run badly to finish 4th.
I can't separate the 3 of them, to be honest. The one thing I want to note about Copa del Rey, if you're not using the form and you're using a racing program, the lines probably don't go back far enough. This horse used to be trained by George Navarro, so they definitely know what makes him tick.
Well, let's go to our 5th race of the afternoon. 1 mile and 70 yards. Claim is 3-year-olds and up. $6,250. Scratch the number 1, Lion King. I want to go back and show you a race from back on November 20th, and it's all keyed up that day. Turning for home, 5 wide, and we're going to follow him to the wide. Ran pretty good that day.
Yeah, he did. He didn't run bad at all. The winner of that race, Condestable, was heavily favored and back on about 6 days rest. Actually, wasn't favored. I thought he should have been. I wagered, so it sounded like he was favored to me anyway. Dreaming of Joey, who was down inside, was the 6-5 favorite that afternoon. All keyed up, comes running off the drop-in class for Eric Rodriguez. He's going to end up making ground on Condestable in the late stages and outrunning Temecula Creek to the wire, who's back in here this afternoon. It was a pretty good run from all keyed up, and certainly thinks that why wouldn't he run it back?
Yeah, that's why I put him on top of my ticket today. And then I used the 4 Rigby, who's stretching out to what is definitely his most accomplished distance. Had 5 races at this distance with 3 wins. He returned from a 7-week freshening to finish 4th as the favorite. Its local debut at 6 furlongs. Who's the trainer? Jorge Navarro. He's 32% with second off the bench of the 45 to 180-day layoff. So I used the 2 all keyed up. I liked his performance, but I also used the 4 Rigby, where I'm going to keep an eye on.
Not to belabor the point, but we have 2 Calabrese drop downs in race number 4 to try to go 1 ahead on the owner's title, and then Rigby right back for White Rabbit. This horse, I think, will be on a lonely lead. Carlos Olivero, very good at rationing speed, and I think this horse rates a long look, as did you. We both used him on top in the 2nd position. You used the 5 Burning Time for third. I used them on top. I really didn't have a huge separation between the first 3 numbers here. Burning Time has really turned the corner for Dave Fawkes. He's run well the last 2 times out. Jose Garcia seems to get along with him really well. Gets the return call today.
Yeah, I mean, he's a logical choice, as you mentioned, to be on the ticket. Solid winner at this level and distance. That was in the slop. It was back on Halloween, I believe. Or isn't that 31st of October is usually Halloween?
Was a trick, not treat. He was 54 to 1.
Let's go to the anything else here before we flip the page? I'm going to be awful nice to you the next couple of days.
Don't worry about that. Just move ahead. You're the, as you love to point out, you're the host. You take
That's
control.
right. I am the host. 6th race, 7.5 furlongs, firm turf course, maiden claimers, 3-year-olds and up. $12,500. The jockey on the 4 is Josie Gomez. Scratched my top pick in here. I don't know if it was Pete's, and that's the 11 Colanito, and scratched into number 6 George Jet in here. And George Jet stretching out around 2 turns with blinkers added after returning from a 3-month layoff to finish a rallying third against similar, going 5 furlongs to Trina Giuseppe Ayacidernia, who has 2 in this race. He's also got the 7 Milton. T is 20% with first-time blinkers, and I just moved him up. I really like the 11 horse in here, so I went to the 6, which was my second choice.
Be interested to see how this race develops from a pace standpoint. George Jet on the stretch out, adding blinkers. You'd think they'd want to send, but then you look and see that the barn buddy Milton T went near the lead last time. That doesn't make a whole lot of sense to send both of your horses. Meanwhile, welcome back to the Frank Calabrese and White Rabbit Show as 13 Dreaming of Pete draws in here. He's aggressively placed. I think from the high draw, you have no choice but to send him on the stretch out. He'll be in front. I just don't know how long he can carry him. The turf course has played much firmer than it had a couple of weeks ago. I think you can win gate to wire over this turf course, and I think the 13 stands a big chance to do it.
Yeah, you got to check those also eligibles that get in the race with these scratches we mentioned. Well, the scratch of the number 11. 1 horse expected meeting a good third in the turf at this level and distance. Back on November 2nd, goes back to the lawn. He finished third in the race, moved to a mile and the 16th on the wet main track listed as good. And I like that performance too back. So I'm going to put the number 1 expected meeting on my ticket.
How do I say this in a politically correct fashion? Expected meeting annoys me because he makes these huge middle moves, and he makes
what angle is this? And Pete annoyed? Is this rule number 28?
Well, this is the Pete is sick of being cheap thrilled by expected meeting. I've needed him 2 of his last 3 times. He makes these huge menacing middle moves. He looks like he's going to continue on with it and then flattens out. That's good news if you're an exotics player, but I'm a multi-leg guy, so I need him to win and seal the deal. He's had trouble doing that. At some point, he's going to win, so don't give up on expected meeting. No argument from me. It's a personal thing. Number 9, Dothraki Warrior is my second play. Takes a drop in class, second start on this circuit. That alone gives him a chance against this field. He'll be coming from off the pace. Pace could be sharper than we think. I think that'll help also.
That Dothraki Warrior, that's from the Game of Thrones or something? Thorns, something like that?
Maybe. I don't watch that stuff.
Yeah,
so.
that's what it is. Timmy Hill's the trainer, and Leandro Gonçalves is the rider. On number 9, Dothraki Warrior.
Well, you can always tweet me or Facebook message me and tell me these things if you are watching out there. If you have some clever line that you'd like to use. We're at the end of the meet. I might get a little more creative license to get to use
Well,
them.
he's definitely from Game of Thorns or Thrones, whatever that one.
Game of Thrones.
No, Game of Thrones. I remember watching my son watches that. Anything else here, Petey boy, before we switch? Oh, we basically got the 6 on your ticket too. So we'll go to the 7th race. This one, 5.5 furlongs, maidens, special weight, state-bred 2-year-olds in here. We have a scratch of number 8, Rick's Boy, and we got a video. And this is race number 3 from October 12th, and it's the stretch run of number 4, Nioman, rallying in that race. Pete?
Yeah, I was impressed by this. He finished up pretty good, in my opinion. The winner of this race is the 4, My Golden Train. First-time starter from the stable of Dallas Keene, who was very well regarded. Also take note, Decisive Force, who's down inside second at the moment. He's going to end up 5th. He was in this race. Nioman's going to come on the outside. My Golden Train very confidently handled, but you can see he's green, Nioman, shifting his ground on the wrong lead, but still making ground at that winner that afternoon. I think here today, Bill White will improve on him from his first race. He adds blinkers. They'll get him a bit more focused, maybe get him to realize what he's supposed to do. I like the way he finished up. If you watch the gallop out, he gallops out very, very well. So of the horses that have raced, he seems to me to be the one with the most upside.
I went with the 4 Total Joint, making his South Florida debut, the first start since finishing second as part of a favorite and even money entry, going 5.5 furlongs on the Monmouth main track. Trainer Jason Service, hot jock Gabriel Saez. Gabriel Saez, Gabe, has been riding in great form, and I know you didn't use this horse because it's a Monmouth horse, but he looks like the one to beat in there for me.
Absolutely, he's the one to beat. Absolutely, I didn't use him because he's first starting from New Jersey. Absolutely correct on all counts. Have nothing more to add. Number 6, Abounding Legacy, is working so fast it almost worries me. Ralph Nix is not shy about tipping his intentions first time out. This horse has a 47 and change workout last time, but the work 2 back, I believe it, but it's hard to believe. 46 and change out of the gate going half a mile. Boy, you're moving. I hope he runs as well as he's been working. If he does, this field could be bid a pleasant good afternoon early on in the race. For me, this race was all about number 1, Color Me Pom Pom, and number 4, Total Joint. They'll take the lion's share of the action. I'll try to beat both of them.
I think the 6 horse might end up the favorite in it because that 46 and 4 bullet work, that was best of 33 horses at the distance. People, flock to that type of information. He might be the favorite in that race. I'm not sure. So, but number 1, Color Me Pompon, who you touched on, will depart from the rail, hoping that inside post will help improve on the trio of second place finishes. A little case of seconditis here for Terry Pompey. Gilbert Chamafi will be in the saddle.
The horse that beat him last time, Brother Bobo, was a first-time starter from the Jason Service barn, and man, was he impressive. So the last race was a very good company line race. He's actually been keeping good company because he was second behind Lakota Warrior, who came back to run in a stake for Ralph Nix. Company lines are solid. Racing lines are solid. I have nothing really to argue against the top 2 in this race other than to say sometimes you just have to take a stand against favorites, and this is a race I've chose to do it.
Well, our feature race today comes in the 8th race, and it's 5 furlongs on the turf. It's an allowance, fillies and mares, 3-year-olds and up, and the purse is $42,000. Scratch the 3. It's a Saturday night, which was my long shot in the day, the 5 Kiyama, and my top pick in here at 12-1 was the 10 Zamquick, but none of that's going to happen because they're scratched out of there, and I scratched into the number 4 horse, Madame Geary, a winner of more than $572,000. I believe this one is strictly the one to beat. Got a rebound today after that 3rd place finish as the favorite in that Sparkler race, which we want to show you now.
I was just going to say, let's show it. This is a race the last time out, the Sparkler Stakes. What a party, and the favorite, Madame Curie, are in here. What a party's on the engine. She's going to fold up like a cheap suit. The winner of the race is Fascinante. She's down inside of What a Party, and that's Madame Curie on the outside, the 4 horse that afternoon. You can see her shifting ground and shifting her lead. Fascinante, so impressive for Efren Loza Jr., but Madame Curie was just a bit flat. I mean, at this point, she's at least supposed to get second there.
Yeah, so we'll see how Madame Curie runs. You used the number 6 horse in here, Spun Cap, who I have my ticket too.
Yeah, Spun Cap, it's kind of cool for me. She's out of a mare named Capital Request, who you, Ronnie, I'm sure you have to remember Capital Request. She used to run 5 furlongs over this turf course. She was the divisional leader a few years ago when she was doing it. She's passed that ability on to her daughter here in Spun Cap. She's very, very good, this mare, in my opinion. She comes in for a barn in Eduardo Caramori. If you're not familiar with him and you're betting on Gulfstream Racing, you're going to get familiar with him whether you like it or not, because he's either going to beat you or you're going to jump on the bandwagon and go, wow, this guy really knows what he's doing. He's a very, very good conditioner. I like the form progression here. She was well prepared. She went off almost a year layoff, came back to go to Philadelphia to run against very nice horses in the Turf Amazon. She's been freshened up since that race. You know she can fire fresh. You know that she'll be able to handle this turf course if you believe in the breeding angle, which in some cases I do. The mare got over there. Her mom got over this course. Why can't she?
Well, also to add to that, 10 previous races at this distance, 4 wins, 2 seconds in the 3rd. So number 6, Spun Cap, on my ticket for all the reasons Pete just mentioned. I went with the number 8, What a Party, who you said whatever you just said she did.
Folded like a cheap suit.
That's it. She folded like she should be primed and ready to offer more. She set that pressured pace last time out. She weakened to the Sparkler, but Eddie Plesa Jr. is really good second off the layoff, and Paco is always a plus in there. I don't know if this horse, I think this horse is going to move forward today. today. I don't know if it's good enough to beat Madame Geary, but certainly I'm going to use it on my ticket.
I think from a pace standpoint, What Party's going to have an easier time of it than she did the last time. She's really, really fast, and she'll be in front early. Take nothing away from her on that. She'll be on the offensive. They'll have to come catch her.
Well, anything else in here before we flip the page?
Only thing I wanted to note is Red Minx makes the bottom of my ticket. This is a huge step up in class, but she was so much the best horse last time. You definitely want to take a look at that replay when you get a minute.
Race number 9 is a 6-furlong starter optional claimer fillies 3-year-olds, and the claiming level is $75,000 in here. And I went with the number 6 in here, Pete Corner to Market, who posted a 5 starts, 2 wins, 2 seconds record against some of the better 3-year-olds competing at Gulfstream this summer. Tries straight 3-year-olds today for the first time. She steps up the competition. I mean, she crushed the field of $12,500 optional claimers here on October 10th. I like the fact she's against straight 3-year-olds, and I just put the 6 Corner to Market on my ticket.
Corner of the Market's getting really good really fast. That's the effect on trainer David Fox has on racehorses. He takes his time with them. She's progressed nicely. She's in a spot here today where she should be able to fire her best race. I tried to beat her again. I mean, that's just nothing personal. She looks like the best horse. She probably is the best horse, but she'll also be bet like she's the best horse. I went outside to 9 Libby's Lucky Charm, who I hated last time. She was very, very good that afternoon as the favorite. She was game in victory that afternoon. Bobby DeBona and Edgar Prado. I think she's probably going to get better. It would stand to reason to me. She's either going to get really, really good off of that last race, or she's going to bounce to the moon. That's the caveat that comes with number 9, Libby's Lucky Charm.
Yeah, I watched that race too last time and thought that she ran really, really well in that spot. I have her on my ticket. Number 3, Lovely Ellie, or L, however you want to say it, is making her local debut after a solid 3-race sprint campaign up north in which she finished 3rd in her $35,000 maiden debut at the Saratoga at the Spa. Then she goes to Park, she breaks her maiden, and then she was a trouble 3rd. She was bumped at the start in the slop against $50,000 starter allowance runners at Belmont. Alan Iwinski, the trainer, has her working very nicely over this track. And I just think this horse has been all over the place, and now here, working well over the track, maybe can score at a little bit of a price in here.
Well, I don't need to tell you, but Alan Iwinski's a very, very good trainer and a very, very sharp guy. How kind of a good claim was that? You claimed the horse for $35,000. You hauled to Philadelphia, made him purse, oh, by the way, $66,000. You almost double your investment off of sharp claim. Good run there by Alan Iwinski. He's played the claiming game that way for a long time, though. Used to be one of the perennial dominators in the Gulfstream Park meeting back in the early 2000s.
Believe me, I know that.
Yeah, before he took some time off. So
and
he's in
Tom
good
Durkin
hands.
used to say, Alan Iwinski. Remember that?
No.
That was Durkin who said that. Yeah.
Okay.
Every time he won. Alan Iwinski.
I think we'll get in trouble for that. In any case, number 1, Cajun Sunrise, coming from well off the speed, merits a look in this race. If something were to develop on the top end, she's very, very good when she's given the right pace scenario under jockey Juan Leyva.
Okay, let's go to our final race of the afternoon, and it is a 1 mile on the turf. Claimers, fillies and mares 3 and up. Non-winners of 2 races in life, $8,000. The jockey on the 3 is Jose Osorio Jr. Scratch the 7 back in a minute. The 8, Brenna Song. The 12, Prom Gown, and the 13 and 15. I guess the 14 is going to get it and run. But Pete will be updating you on all the changes once we get done here. As you know, we missed one already. They scratched later on. So I went with the 9, Honey Bunny Boo Boo. And guess who trains this horse here? Showed a definite fondness for racing around 2 turns on this local turf when she was beating the nose against Similar. That was going a mile in the 16, turned back to a mile. Looks like the right move.
Who does train her? You never said.
Oh, Michael Petro.
Frank Calabrese, Michael Petro again in race number 10. If Honey Bunny Boo Boo wins, I lose. It's very simple. Last time out, she lost to Wild Heiress, who did everything she could to let Honey Bunny Boo Boo come back on her. Wild Heiress was 1 for 28-ish, something like that. Very, very good, though. I mean, consistent, but definitely did not want to go by Honey Bunny Boo Boo. It was her first trip over the 2 turns over the grass. She ran well. There's no reason to think she won't run well here today, but I think that there's some viable alternatives, and she's going to be favored. I went with the 5, Carolina Dreams. If Heaven Help Me should win earlier in the card, I think you have to move this filly up, as Heaven Help Me was the winner of her last race over Carolina Dreams, who was second ahead. There's really not much depth to this field, so that bodes well for Honey Bunny Boo Boo. inside the number 1, Spring Like a Cobra. We went to the wedding. Let's go to the funeral. Spring Like a Cobra ran really, really well for Nick Gonzalez on the main track last time out. I think she's probably better on the grass. She gets the grass here today.
Yeah, I got Tyler Gaffleone in the saddle. I got 5 to Carolina Dreams and the number 1 Spring Like a Cobra on my ticket. Anything else before we close it out for today, Pete?
Well, this is a tough sequence in the Rainbow Six. You've heard our opinions. Hopefully you have some opinion somewhere, because you're going to have to take a stand on a race, 1 or 2 races in the Rainbow Six if you're going to have any chance, because you're going to need some deep coverage in some of these races. It's definitely a sequence you want to take a look at here this afternoon. And a reminder that if it doesn't get hit today and it doesn't get hit tomorrow, or even if it does, we have a force out of the Rainbow Six on Sunday afternoon, closing day of our fall turf mess.
Yeah, and that's also for the Super High Five if there's carryovers or anything like that, because it's the end of this meeting. And as we mentioned at the top of the show, the champion meeting will be starting a week from tomorrow. So everything will be given away on Sunday. If we have to carry over, Pete, we were trying to guess how much might be in the pool there, $600,000-$700,000 in the Rainbow Six pool, and that they just a guess on my part.
I think we get to $1 million. I'm optimistic, but I think we can get to $1 million. I think if we start with $350,000, which is about what we'll get, in my opinion, if we don't get a winner, then I think it's easy that they bet $650 on closing day, because it's a guarantee force out.
And you can get all of this for 20 cents. You guys have a good afternoon.
Good luck today.